Rain, hail or shine, this thing has sat on our garden shed for just over a year now, and during that time we've spent about $1,500 for it to supply us with unlimited high-speed internet. Now we're just about to move out of our property here in Trentham and put a pause to the Starlink subscription for now, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about how it's performed and who I would recommend it for. So performance-wise, Starlink has consistently delivered us with really good internet. Regardless of the weather, it seems to easily pull between 100 and 200 download, sometimes higher. At times, depending on where the satellites are up in space, you do see it drop below 100. For example, I did a speed test about 30 minutes ago and got 40 download, but it's normally pretty short-lived because once the satellites come back around, you get straight back up to like 150 really quickly. Upload speed normally sits around 20, which hasn't been an issue for me uploading YouTube videos like this one in 4K. And over this past year, we've only noticed a couple of outages which have been resolved really quickly. And you can conveniently check the Starlink app, which I must say is excellent and reminds me of the Tesla app design quite a bit, and that will give you status and things like that. So yeah, reliability would have to be 10 out of 10. Whether it's frozen over, there's storms, any sort of weather, it consistently seems to just bring reliable, good internet where you don't ever really have to think about it. One of the downsides we faced as somewhat early adopters here for Starlink in Australia was that initial startup cost. We paid over $900 to buy the terminal. The good news is now the prices have come down quite a bit, so you can pick up a brand new Starlink for $600. They also sell refurbished units for half the price, and even more impressively, now you can actually rent a terminal from Starlink for $19 a month, which ends up being a much more affordable option for people. If we had done that instead of buying the unit outright, we would have saved hundreds of dollars. Starlink have also recently unveiled their Generation 3 hardware. The new terminal looks a little bit inspired by the Cybertruck. It's more angular now, and all round it's quite a good upgrade, but I think what people will notice most is the improved Wi-Fi speeds and the range of the new router. In fact, that was something we noticed with the current Starlink router for the Gen 2, is it wasn't strong enough to connect to the Tesla in the garage. Now there is a brick wall between us and the router right now, and it's probably also the Tesla not having great range in itself. The new router, however, should fix this problem. Something else to keep in mind is energy usage. The Starlink is going to use much more power than your traditional Wi-Fi routers because obviously it's got the dish connecting to satellites in space. It tends to use around 70 watts on average, give or take. That will fluctuate up and down depending on things like weather conditions as well. So we've actually set up a timer to switch off the unit at nighttime, but you can also set this up within the Starlink app and set your times where you want it to go to sleep, and this will save power as well. So who's best suited to Starlink? Well, obviously people like us that live in the country that have a property with limited access to any connectivity whatsoever. We have basically no cell service here, and the National Broadband offers a satellite internet connection, but it's pretty woeful, so Starlink is hands down the best option for people like us. Now you could obviously look at getting Starlink if you were based in the city and you had a clear view of the sky, but I do think when you've got a wide NBN option in this country, that's going to end up being more affordable. One cool thing to consider though is that Starlink now offer a referral program. You get a free month and they get a free month. Now, if you're putting out content on a regular basis, I imagine that you could get to the point where you're getting enough referrals that your Starlink becomes basically free. So it's hard not to recommend Starlink at this point if you meet the criteria of living out of the city, needing high-speed internet. It ticks so many boxes. Now, I would point out the only reason we're cancelling our subscription for Starlink is just because we're moving back to suburbia while we start the build on our new house. But as soon as the build has finished and we've relocated back to the country, the first thing we'll be doing is signing back up to Starlink. And this time, we'll be getting it properly mounted to the roof. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions about the Starlink in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this useful, and I'll catch you soon in another video.